You've heard the stories, right? For decades, it's been the source of endless intrigue, legend, and let's be honest, a little bit of fear. This mysterious stretch of ocean, where ships and planes are said to just vanish. But is the Bermuda Triangle really some kind of supernatural vortex? Or is the real story hiding in plain sight? Let's find out. Okay, so let's picture this. Our story starts on a very specific day, right after the end of World War II. It's a clear afternoon, and what should have been a totally routine mission is about to get underway. So you've got these 5 U.S. Navy torpedo bombers. The mission is known as Flight 19. They take off from Florida. It's just a standard 3-hour training exercise. On board, you have 14 experienced crew members. Nothing about this seemed out of the ordinary at all. But then, about 2 hours into the flight, something goes terribly, terribly wrong. That chilling message comes crackling over the radio from the flight leader, a seasoned pilot. All of a sudden, his compass is just spinning wildly. The backup compass fails too. They are completely, utterly lost. And that was it. That was the critical moment a routine flight went wrong. As the weather started to get worse, the flight leader became convinced they were way off course, over the Gulf of Mexico. But some of his own crew disagreed. Confusion quickly spiraled into a full-blown crisis as the sun began to set. After their last garbled radio transmission, silence. All 5 planes are lost forever. But, and this is where the story gets even crazier, it doesn't end there. A search and rescue plane with 13 crew members is sent to find them, and it also disappears. So one of the largest search operations of the time is launched. And what do they find? Absolutely nothing. No wreckage, no bodies. They were just gone. The shocking disappearance of Flight 19 really became the cornerstone of a much larger and older legend, the legend of what some people call the Devil's Triangle. So, what are we even talking about here? Well, the Bermuda Triangle is this loosely defined area of the Atlantic Ocean, and for over a century, it's gained this reputation as a place where the normal rules of physics and logic just don't seem to apply. It's pretty fascinating to see how this legend was built piece by piece over time. It actually starts way back with Christopher Columbus, who reported weird compass readings and seeing a ball of fire in the sky. Then you fast forward to 1918, and the USS Cyclops, this huge Navy ship with over 300 people, just vanishes without a trace. It all finally comes to a head in 1964, when a writer named Vincent Gaddis officially gives the mystery its name in a magazine article, and the legend just explodes into popular culture. Of all the stories, one of the most frightening has to be the tale of the Ellen Austin from way back in 1881. The story goes that the ship found another vessel sailing perfectly fine, but completely empty. So the captain put some of his own crew on the ghost ship to sail it alongside him. But after a nasty storm, the ships got separated. When the Ellen Austin found the other vessel again, his crew was gone. Now, the tale of the Ellen Austin is a fantastic ghost story. It's got everything, but that's probably all it is. A legend, basically an urban myth passed down over time that's pretty much impossible to verify. And that realization, that is a crucial clue. Because if some of the most famous stories are just that, stories, then what happens when we move from legend to logic? Right. If it's not aliens, or sea monsters, or ghost ships, then what is it? It's time to start looking for the actual clues that are hidden within the facts. As it turns out, the answers aren't supernatural at all. They're actually grounded in things like magnetism, geology, and meteorology. Okay, quick science lesson. I promise it's interesting. The North Pole on a map and the North Pole your compass points to are actually 2 different places. But in certain spots on Earth, they're called agonic lines. They line up perfectly. For centuries, one of these lines has passed right through the Bermuda Triangle, which could cause serious confusion for navigators who weren't accounting for it. Sound familiar? Just like the pilots of Flight 19. And look, the environment here is just uniquely treacherous. Parts of it are deceptively shallow, perfect for ripping the bottom right out of a ship. It's also a hotbed for some of the world's most violent weather. We're talking hurricanes and waterspouts. And then there's this wild theory about methane hydrate. The idea that massive underwater eruptions of gas could lower the water's density so much that a ship floating on top would just sink instantly, without any warning. So, okay, we have a lot of natural explanations, but the most powerful explanation of all might have nothing to do with the ocean and everything to do with our own brains. It's called the Bader-Meinhof effect or the frequency illusion. You know how it is? You learn a new word and then suddenly you start hearing it everywhere? That's the effect in action. Your brain is now basically primed to notice it. The classic example is when you buy a new car. The day you drive it off the lot, you suddenly see that exact same model and color everywhere. Now, did everybody rush out and buy that car at the same time? No, of course not. You're just noticing them now because you're aware of it. And that is exactly what's happening with the Bermuda Triangle. Once that mystery is planted in our heads, we pay special attention to every single accident that happens inside its imaginary borders. At the same time, we completely ignore similar or even worse tragedies that happen in other parts of the world. So let's bring all of this evidence together and finally put a pin in this legendary mystery. Well, the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOOA, is crystal clear. They state that there is zero evidence that disappearances happen more often here than in any other well-traveled part of the ocean. The U.S. Coast Guard agrees, saying they don't even recognize the Bermuda Triangle as a real, specific geographic hazard. And this really gets to the most crucial point of all. The Bermuda Triangle is one of the most heavily trafficked areas in the entire world. When you consider the sheer volume of planes and ships and you combine that with the severe weather, it's not surprising that accidents happen. Statistically speaking, it's no more dangerous than any other busy waterway. And what about that very first piece of the puzzle, Christopher Columbus's report of a ball of fire? Well, scientists have a pretty simple explanation for that too. He most likely just saw a meteor streaking through the atmosphere. So when you look at all the evidence, the Bermuda Triangle isn't really a mysterious place on a map at all. It's more of a media creation, a collection of unrelated accidents, bad weather, and human error, all stitched together by a really compelling story that we want to believe. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other Bermuda Triangles are out there, not on a map, but in our own minds?